I just had an interesting conversation with Doc, and we were talking about frequencies and time travel and some other related topics. And a lot of this stuff is old news to him, but for me, it's brand new. So I thought it was interesting. So I'm sure I'm not alone either. So one of the first things I noticed was when we were talking about frequencies, how they can use that to manipulate a lot of really, really big objects, like, for example, an earthquake. Um, and so I want to talk to him more about it later after I kind of hone up on my knowledge on the subject and do a bit of research. He was kind enough to send me some links and lead me in the right direction. So I'm going to look into that a little bit later. But off the top of my head, though, the first thing that stood out to me as we were talking about the subject is with how frequencies were related to time travel. And I was thinking about an episode of South Park where they went to Imagination Land via like a portal or a gateway. And there was like a song to Imagination Land that they realized had a frequency that they needed as a key to open up this gateway or portal to that other dimension. And I started thinking about it. I thought, you know what? This plane of existence that we live in is like a realm of space, time, and matter. And if you think of, like, say, an opera singer who's singing in a really high pitch, they can break a wine glass if the wine glass is at the right pitch. So that frequency of the sound can shatter the wine glass. Kind of like the same way if you had like a really high powerful stereo and you're blasting music with a lot of bass in it, it's going to make things vibrate like books and pocket change or whatever you have that's lying around. It's going to vibrate with the reverberations of the bass in the music of like really loud music. So it's the same thing that those frequencies or sound waves, etc. They're going to affect the matter that's around them, like the opera singer singing the high pitched note, which shatters the wine glass, which is set at the same frequency. So if it's possible to use a frequency to shatter matter in the case of a wine glass, and if you take that to the next conclusion, that it's possible to start an earthquake with frequencies if they were powerful enough, then since earthquakes and wine glasses and the earth itself and all the particles around it are all matter in this plane of existence, then the next logical conclusion would be if you would have to use the right frequency in order to break the barrier that, or like the wall, if you will, between this dimension and the next one. If it was like a dimension, a spiritual dimension, if you will. So if you look at this whole existence as a wine glass, then if you had the right frequency or the right note, you could break a hole in that wine glass or in this physical realm. The right frequency would open the portal to another dimension. Not saying that's a good thing, just saying that theoretically that kind of makes sense if you follow the logical conclusions from a wine glass to an earthquake caused by frequencies to the whole physical existence that we are in being also held to those same theories about frequencies and how they're able to break or rip holes, if you will, in that sort of thing. So just putting it out there, I thought that was interesting. Hopefully somebody else thinks it's interesting. I could be right, I could be wrong. It's still food for thought either way. Ba bada bing.